Just a couple of words about the student protests. I oppose genocide, and I'm not paid by George Soros. So this is not really very difficult to understand. Could there be some students that have been part of an organization that at some stage have received funding by George Soros? That's possible. But to want to desperately believe that a movement, pretty much a movement that's spreading throughout many countries, in the USA, in the UK, in Italy, in France, Germany, and many more, is only happening because of some possible money that at some stage was sent to 3 students, which is what the articles that have been circulating have claimed, is disingenuous. It actually shows the blindness or the mass formation in which people who were defending freedom until maybe a year ago then became co-opted, first with the narrative of the war in Europe, in Ukraine, then are co-opted with October 7th, and then co-opted with the Israeli bombing and invasion of Gaza. It's pretty clear to anyone with eyes open that what's going on is intended to be a genocide in order to steal land, in order to steal gas reserves off the coast of Gaza, in order to have prime sea-facing real estate for Israel. Now, it's not really very difficult to see that. It's also very difficult to see that as wrong. No matter what side you choose to take, wrong. Someone that kills someone or a whole group of people to take their land, no matter what some of them in that land has done in the past or vice versa, is just wrong. It would be wrong if Palestinians were to mass murder Israelis. That's wrong. And the same goes the other way. Now, the basic reason why students are protesting is that they can see that their universities are co-opted in this genocide because they're receiving money from the same funders, oligarchs who are backing now, fully backing, and also paying with public money the genocide of the Palestinians of Gaza. So that's why the students are protesting. Any Soros organized uprising makes sense under a Trump presidency. It's not a conspiracy theory to believe that Soros hates Trump, and vice versa. It's a power struggle. Both groups want power. And when Trump has power, Soros doesn't have much of it. So that's why the Soros protests happened under a Trump presidency. That's why the active organizers would be probably told to escalate under a Trump presidency. So these grassroots organizations that are given money by the Soros organizations, they're given money in order to have uprisings under a Trump presidency, under a presidency they don't like, in order to have a narrative. So when it was Black Lives Matter, the narrative was Trump is racist. And so to reinforce that narrative, they had to have protests under the Trump presidency, and that's Black Lives Matter's backing by Soros was for that reason. I would argue it's the same for the Me Too movement. The issue there was to see Trump as a sort of woman using and abusing person, and therefore the Me Too movement had to happen under a Trump presidency. Why has it been quiet under Biden presidency? It's not like Hunter Biden hasn't got enough indications of abuse of women. There's video evidence of it, especially when it comes to age-related use of his power, which I would define as abuse if you're dealing with minors. So you could easily have a Me Too movement right now, but you don't have it because it's not a Trump presidency. So the fundamental issue here is we're not under a Trump presidency in the United States. It's a Biden presidency. So actually, the narrative that would dent Biden's reputation most within his own base group is the one that endorses the student protests. The students are protesting under a Biden presidency. So rather than trying to be co-opted in a narrative that justifies genocide for some kind of ideological belief that Israel is better than Islam, or some kind of similar ideological belief, just look at what's going on. This is like the biggest opportunity to erode the base of Biden's support within the lower age groups. And so jump on it. Support it. It's anti-genocide. Support it. Don't just now claim, oh, it's Soros, because you're just fooling yourself, nobody else. So yeah, I just feel that people who seemed awake to me until a few months ago have gone back asleep, totally asleep, and are now not even able to say something very simple, which is genocide is wrong no matter who does it. Right now, it's clear that it's Israel doing it, and it's being backed and paid for with our own money. That's wrong, and therefore the students are protesting because they don't want to enter their adult life being co-opted by an education whose price is asking of them to basically close their eyes to genocide. They don't want to do that, and you shouldn't do that too. I don't want to do that either. None of us should do that. No matter whose side is doing genocide, it's just wrong, and we should all oppose it. This is really easy. And if you want to fool yourself that it's all because of Soros, then I'm sorry, you're just being co-opted by the same machine that you're claiming that you want to fight.